and viewing the calendar on a regular basis to see what's happening. So, I'm just going to go ahead and shoot it right over to the director. Good morning, director.
Well, good morning.
How are you doing?
Fantastic. How's everyone?
Good.
How's everybody? Everybody's good? There we go. On this wonderful morning, first Monday in June. How about that?
Yeah.
Time is flying. Time is flying. So, as we kick off Coffee with the Librarian, how we normally like to start things is that we receive questions from the community prior to the live episode. And so Kim will call out the questions, we will talk about them, discuss them, and then we have a fantastic person to my right who we will spend a little time with today, getting to know a little better and what she does for the county. And we will have a chance for questions and answers at the end of that. So let's go ahead and jump on into it.
Okay, so our first question is there any way that the library can offer test proctors?
Absolutely, absolutely. We have been investigating different services that the library can engage in, and that's just one of them. We've got a list of potential partnerships, again, test proctoring, perhaps doing something with passports or passport applications. And so as we look a little bit further into just what it would take to offer some of these services, we will roll them out. And so stay tuned.
Very good. So this question, I know they're going to love your answer for. When will the Splash Pass be available?
Right now.
Woo-hoo! Right now.
For those of you who may not know, the library system has partnered with the Parks and Recreation Department to be able to offer Spivey Splash Park passes. That's a tough one right there. And so community can come to the library with their library card, and they can come here to the headquarters library. And as in headquarters library, currently the partnership maintains that folks have to come here to headquarters in order to get the passes. But we do have several sets of passes, and so please come on in and check them out. And it allows a family up to four participants or attendees into the park free of charge.
That's right.
So very exciting.
So that is, I believe a day pass is $65. So if you're taking a family of four, that's a great savings. So.
Hey, bring your library card in, check out the passes, and have a great time.
That's right. Is the library offering any literacy programs for adults?
Not currently. We are looking at providing programs, partnering with folks who can spend the time with the adults on that. And if I'm understanding the question, it's an effort to help adults be able to read more proficiently. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. We do have other services for technology. We've got one-on-one tech help. We have an adult GED class that we currently offer. We're looking into ESL classes as well. But specific for helping the advancement of reading proficiency for adults, we're still looking at possible ways to do that.
Very good. Are there any plans to bring the library out to the public, like to parks or apartment complexes, things like that?
You mean you haven't seen us? You haven't seen us? I mean,
we'd be out there.
We're out there. We're out there. But that just tells me that we need to be out there more. And so stay tuned. We have a bookmobile that is currently being outfitted and customized. So we are very excited about having that. The release date or the launch date is still to be determined. We're still in the process of customizing it. But we are uber excited about having this resource to be able to get out into the community. So stay tuned. You will hear a lot about it once we have it in the parking lot and outfitted with the books and all the other resources. So
Did you just say that we're pimping out a ride for the bookmobile?
I did not quote exhibit. I did not do that.
That's all the questions that I have.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Andre, were there any questions submitted online?
No, not yet.
Perfect. Great. So, without further ado, what we will do now is we will jump into the interview portion of our segment. For those who are just tuning in, I'm Scott Parham, the director for the Clayton County Library System, and I have the esteemed honor of chatting today with Ms. Erica Rocker. Thank you. Give it up. please introduce yourself and tell a little bit about your role and what you do for the county.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Director Parham, and good morning to patrons and viewers. It's so exciting right now to be in economic development. As you mentioned, I'm Erica Rocker, the Economic Development Officer for the Clayton County Board of Commissioners. And the role of my office is to serve as that point of contact when someone wants to open a business, whether it's a major corporation who relies on us as the on-the-ground expert to tell them where to plant their business. We get inquiries from everything from someone looking for 200 acres of raw land to a 400,000 square foot empty building to small businesses who call and say, I'm struggling and I need funding, or I'm doing well, but I want to raise my business to the next level. What resources are out there for me? We also get a variety of partnership engagement proposals and offerings for people to partner with our office to grow the economic development footprint. But our sole purpose exists to grow jobs, increase the tax base, and present Clayton County as a great place to live and work and thrive.
Very good. Very good intro. Very good intro. And from that, I've got several questions that we will discuss and we'll go from there. I've heard about these bus tours around the county. Can you tell us a little bit more about bus tours and what they're designed to do?
Absolutely. You know, when we did the Opportunity Clayton bus tours, it really was an aggressive effort to launch our desire to the development community that we are looking for not just any economic development, but a specific industry of economic development. So last fall, we launched a bus tour that only focused on retail, hospitality, and restaurant development.
Okay.
In other words, we only invited developers who work in that space, realtors who are in that space, investors, partners that work in that space, because we don't take for granted that everybody knows that we have available land here in Clayton County, or we have maybe some outdated strip centers we'd like to see redeveloped, or we have just vacant strip centers and buildings that are for sale that could be turned into the type of retail that we'd like to see that will cater to visitors and residents of this county. So the bus tours, you know, we do these tours all the time on a one-on-one basis.
Okay.
But the bus tours was our way of really not giving the same speech 150 times, but ordering a bus that seats 50 people and doing it 3 times. And so that's the way we did it. And it was so exciting. We brought in our major corporate stakeholder CEOs to present and talk during lunch. So we had the president of Clayton State University come in and talk during lunch. So when the bus tour broke for lunch, he was able to share all about Clayton State. We had the new CEO of Southern Regional Medical Center talk about the hospital and what it's planning to do and what it does for the county, et cetera. So it was very beneficial. We are seeing the fruits of that. We rolled those out on the second Tuesday of September, October, and November. It was very aggressive. It was like putting on the Super Bowl every month for 3 months. But I'll say we're seeing the good return on that. Many calls we're having in our office right now are giving us great encouragement from investors who are actually putting down options on the land on some of the sites that we showed.
Nice. Now, if someone is interested in participating on one of the bus tours, are you still accepting or still scheduling tours?
Well, they can contact our office at any time, and we'll do a tour, you know, in our county vehicle. We get that all the time from people, just a one-on-one investor. But the actual bus tours we'll announce to the community when we're planning the next one, because we have to fill up a 50-seat bus.
Got it.
So yeah, we'll announce when those are forthcoming. And the one we did in the fall was invitation only, because we really wanted to hit a target group. But we definitely will do one that's universal, first come, first serve, sign up. Because part of the tour wasn't just all about our sites. It was about teaching people about Clayton County, where the world lands and opportunities take off. I even had many of a few of our staff members on the bus say, I learned things that I didn't even know about the county. and how great it is and what our assets, our amenities are, because we are really a marketing department. That's what we are. We're marketing to the business community to bring their business here.
Yeah, very nice, very nice. Congratulations are in order.
Thank you.
I heard just this past month there were 2 major groundbreakings in Clayton County. One being Glasses USA and the other one being Forever Young Aquaponics.
Yes.
Could you tell us about these facilities and how they will benefit the residents of Clayton County?
Yes, I will say I'm most excited about the groundbreaking we did for the Andrew Young Aquaponics Farm. You know, aquaponics is a word that is part of this new area of economic development called ag tech or agri-tech, and it's agriculture that has a technology twist to it. This site is about a 10-acre site. It was a single-family ranch-style home that was vacant, and when we toured the Andrew Young Foundation, they honed in on they liked the most. Just on 9 acres, which is something you wouldn't think is large enough for a farm, it's certainly large enough for an aquaponics farm, which simply means growing more plants and fruits and vegetables in a water-based environment rather than having dry earth and hundreds of acres of farmland.
Okay.
This will do the work of about 10 or 12 farms with this 70,000 square foot high-tech greenhouse, which will be the most technologically advanced greenhouse in the world.
Repeat that for me.
This,
I don't think people online and in the audience really understand the magnitude of that.
right, yeah, you really don't understand the magnitude of this. When they presented it to us, it's a way of doing farming that's healthier with 0 pesticides and 0 negative emissions to the environment. And, you know, it's less strenuous and a quicker result. And it's also in the area of food science. So this 70,000 square foot high-tech greenhouse is a design that is being sought out all over the world, and Ambassador Young wants to put these all over the world, but he chose Clayton County as where the first one will be installed. So there will be many visitors who work in the space of agri-tech and food science that will come and visit this greenhouse. But yes, it's 70,000 square feet. They'll hold, this is about a $12.5 million investment. There'll be 3 buildings on that land with about 25 jobs and about 18 internships. That will be a part of this project. They want to be engaged in our public schools to teach our students about careers in food science.
Yeah.
I mean, farming is the new sexy thing, right? Eating well, planting your own food, eating what you plant, etc. But this is certainly a way to underscore that exposure to our students, but it puts Clayton County in a prime position that the world will have to see and take notice, because it's not just, that was not a ribbon cutting as a par for the course. It really is a groundbreaking for something that's innovative for the whole state and the country.
Very nice, very nice. You mentioned you mentioned a second ago about some of the plazas that are undeveloped or they're old and need some attention.
Yes.
Are there plans or efforts to do something with these properties that are just kind of
Yeah, you know, what I really want people most to understand about economic development is we are government, and so it's our job to plant the vision, lay the groundwork, and in all things, zoning is God, zoning is key. However, the county has approved the zoning to be laid out for all 144 square miles of this county. That is what dictates what can go where. So in saying that, some of our commercial strip centers are certainly outdated, but they're not owned by the government. They're owned by the private sector. And so if there are no code violations, we legally can't make a shop owner invest and say, hey, redo this shopping center, it looks a mess, or it's outdated. But what we have seen and what we're doing right now for our blighted shopping centers, or those that are outdated but yet full of occupancy, we are using our ARPA dollars, which are the American Rescue Plan Act dollars, and I believe we're the only community in the state doing this, but we've launched something called the Commercial Beautification Grant. We did our small business grants, and everyone was familiar. We did nonprofit grants. But the commercial beautification grants were, again, a targeted program where we actually mailed the owners of all of our strip centers. We told them about the grant, the opportunity, and the grant entitles them up to $75,000 worth of improvements that they have to submit to us that they can make. They have to be all exterior improvements because we want passerbys to look at something beautiful. So the money can only be used for either repainting or lighting, outdoor signage, or landscaping. That's it. And we're requiring the shopping center owners to put in a 25% match based on the amount of grant they get. We're so excited. We got about 55 applications in because it wasn't like our other grants where anybody could apply until the money runs out. It was a targeted approach. So what we've learned, it's very difficult to figure out who gets what when you're giving away free money. But we had a team of about 9 people from code enforcement. We involved the police force. We involved the tax assessor's office because we had requirements. But we're very excited on those who will be receiving the award, and you all will be able to see some really marked beautification coming out of the ground real soon.
We had a program here at headquarters, I think it was last month. It was Rejuvenate, Revitalize Clayton County. And at the end of the session, I encourage folks to attend the BOC, the Board of Commission meetings. The second meeting of the month, they talk about zoning. And one of the most important things that I heard from you, Erica, is that a lot of these properties, it depends on how it is zoned. Again, if it's a county-owned property, if it's a privately owned property.
Yes.
A lot of the zoning meetings at the Board of Commission meetings speaks to these properties. And so if you are concerned, and if you're at home watching, please come out and attend. Your voice can be heard, and you can make a difference. So.
And if I could just make a footnote on that, you know, in my civic life, I'm a member of an organization, and we had to give back, and part of one of the campuses we adopted was Clayton State University. So when we put on a leadership lecture series for the students there, and when I had to pick my topic, I chose a topic called The Power of One, and I put civic engagement as a discussion matter. And what I said to them is what I'll say to you now, those listening and those in the room. If you're not currently on a board or a commission that's in your local town or city, please reach out to your elected official and let them know that you would like to be considered as their appointee on one of these committees. You know, I learned Clayton County has, I think, about 37 boards and commissions that our commissioners have to appoint people to sit on. And they range in topics from, you know, animal control to behavioral health to conservation to land bank to library board to, you know, the development authority, parks and recreation, and your planning and zoning. So those people who sit in those seats have a lot of power that determine if somebody's project gets built or not. It really is the power of community. And so I grew up never hearing anybody in my neighborhood say, oh, I got a development authority meeting tonight, let me get out of here. So I, you know, once I got in government 25 years ago, saw how important that is. So please let your voice be known. Don't take for granted that your commissioner knows who you are and knows that you are good at this or you have an interest in it, because you can be the change that we all need to see.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. With the world's busiest airport sitting in Clayton County, how are the leaders in Clayton County working to attract travelers to explore, stay, spend dollars in Clayton County? And well, I got a second part, but let's do with that first part.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's no secret that the airport is 90% of its land mass is in Clayton County. That's everything except for the north terminal. And that's a huge asset and undertaking. It's also a huge area of responsibility when I hear about it from a law enforcement and a safety patrol standpoint. You know, from a business attraction standpoint, they are the largest economic engine in the state. They certainly are our largest impact. I don't know if you're aware, but they employ about 363,000 people that are employed at the airport, and a recent study was done to show its impact on the region in terms of how it spawns satellite offices, as far as Macon, Savannah, Birmingham, other places, because our airport is here. But what we're doing in Clayton County is we certainly use it when we are filling out what we call RFIs, request for information, which is how companies find us. They don't know who Clayton County is. If you're a London-based company or a Dutch company, or you're in Minnesota and you want an office, you just think Georgia. And so those calls come into the state, and the state drills down on what is it you're looking for, and they send it out to us as the county.
Okay.
It's like a very large, sophisticated Match.com or matchmaking service. It's like dating for business and location.
Okay.
And so what we do is we position ourselves to be not only front and center, but to have attractive marketing videos, demographics about Clayton County that show not only our accessibility or what a company moving here might want to know. Companies want to know about workforce. They want to know, am I going to be able to fill my company with, employees and an able-bodied workforce? We tout the fact that we're so young, with our average age being 33. We have people who are really now just falling into their careers or figuring out where they're going to work, and they have the ability to be there quite a while. We also tout things like our public safety records. We tout that we are a free trade zone. We do tout that we're a Tier 1 tax credit county. A lot of questions come up about that, where people feel that is that a positive or is it a negative? It's a win, because at the state, when you are Tier 1, that means all projects have to come through you first to either be vetted out in terms of your sites to see if you have what this company is looking for, or not. And so being first at the gate is always a good thing. There are about 4 tiers, and basically it just says that you will get the $4,000 job tax credit per job if you're investing in this county. If you're a Tier 1 or Tier 2, that amount goes down. It's an incentive for lesser developed census tracts, which have had a military base in their community. That's how their Tier 1 is designated. So it's not a slight, it's not negative. It just means we know that you have a lot of more available land and opportunities for redevelopment, because of course we had the base.
Right. Now, you mentioned the free trade zone a second ago. Can you dig a little bit more into that and the significance for Clayton County?
Yeah, that is significant, especially if you are a major company that's doing one of our distribution centers or warehouse, and you have, 300 to 400,000 square feet of inventory. In other states, you're taxed on that inventory whether it's sold or not. Because we have that free trade zone, you're not taxed on it until it's sold. So when someone is calling to order, 5 of your Volkswagens, and when you do that transaction, ship them out through the ports or however they get out of your warehouse, you're taxed on them then. So you're not taxed on dead inventory that's not moving, that's not sold yet. That lets the company support it to their bottom line, and it certainly makes it very attractive. Now that is a plus for the state of Georgia. So we in Clayton County designated our corridors with all the industrial or free trade zones. You don't have to spot check an address to see if it is or not.
Very nice, thank you. Yeah. Are there programs in conjunction with Clayton State University that you have either initiated or looking to initiate, and how can some of the students that are graduating or soon to graduate, again, help with economic development in the county?
Yeah, we count Clayton State University as such a viable partner. We're so fortunate to have a university. It used to be a junior college. And when it became a major university that offers a bachelor's degree and some master's programs, that really is an ongoing effort for not only us, but the city of Morrow, where the university is located, to find out ways to maximize that relationship. We do involve the president and the college there. We even involve the press team there, which is an acronym for their university research office, where they do master plan, strategic planning. So Clayton State did our economic development strategic plan. And so we're plugged in on them there, so they're aware what we're doing. with our new business incubator that we purchased, that we just are at the point where we will be awarding a contractor to do the interior build out. We are in talks with Clayton State about possibly moving the Small Business Development Center in there.
Okay.
And right now that is on the campus of the school, but that would be their partnership role because they are such a service provider and serve as the business coach for these startups, entrepreneurs, and et cetera. So we look forward to using them and maximizing the relationship with them for that program.
Okay.
In terms of students getting jobs and internships, et cetera, the county does a great job with, through our HR department in terms of talking to HR with Clayton State University to make sure our positions are posted and announced if they want a career in government early on to start. But yeah, we are open to seeing some of their students either work for the county or knowing about jobs in our existing industry.
Great, great. We get from time to time folks expressing interest, I would say, in having more attractive restaurants,
Yes.
grocery stores, like Trader Joe's, Cheesecake Factory.
Yes.
Yes. So should I assume that the bus tours that were targeted for a lot of those particular industries, we might start seeing some, or again, the push to get some of these restaurants and amenities in our community?
Yes. It is an aggressive game. I go back to the analogy I gave about, Match.com. I'm sure none of you in here have ever had to use that, but if you do a profile, let's say you put out a profile, how do you get someone to pick you?
Do tell.
Like, why would they pick you? Why would they date you over this person? So you talk, you have conversations, then the person disappears, right? And then 18 months later, they circle back and they ask you, hey, are you still available? Or is that land still available? Is the building still open? So I say all that to say people have a choice as to where they're going to invest their dollars. And they want to know, they don't care that we're right here at the airport necessarily. When you're dealing with what we call neighborhood commercial or Class A neighborhood retail development, like your Fork and Screen, somewhere to eat dinner and have a nice movie, or Cheesecake Factory, where those brands like to locate where they can get the office market patrons as well as residential.
Okay.
So they want to know how many white-collar jobs are in proximity of a site you sent them, because their demographics show that, hey, they do a lot of catering, or they'll have a business executive luncheon or something of that nature. They don't just rely on the community. And then they may look at what are our demographics and numbers in terms of how many residents in your community can go out to eat 3 times a week, spend $150 for dinner. Okay, that's a good site for me.
Right.
And so I'd say all those things work in tandem. Still, they will take a chance. Everything doesn't have to be there and line up. And I say, to answer your question, yes, you will see some of that coming out of the ground from this tour. Economic development is very much an NDA, non-disclosure agreement type industry. People really are interested. They always want to know what's going on, what projects. We can announce some.
Right.
Others we cannot. Because if we do, our competitors to the left, right, front, and center will reach out to them and say, hey, I know you're moving to Clayton, but we'll offer you 50 acres of land for free if you build it here. And before you know it, you've lost your project.
I understand.
So there is a lot of conversation going on afoot in the area of what we call escapism retail. That's a new term that has come up in economic development we've seen after the pandemic, where people want to be, not just go have dinner, but they want an experience. They don't just want to go shopping, but they want to feel that, I can also do golf while I'm here. I can also, watch a movie at night under the stars or whatever. And so we're seeing development interest right now for that in our area called Mountain View. which there's good vacant acreage and prime real estate.
Good. Now, I've got another question that comes in quite often.
Okay.
And how do you balance attracting industry businesses with those that want more residents or homes built? So again, the industrial look versus residential. And is there a balancing or a tipping point where one outweighs the other?
Yeah, that is a really good question. I go back, when I talk about zoning, which makes it very easy of what goes where. You think of zoning, which is hard for some people to conceptualize, but my analogy for zoning is not Match.com, but it's more of a house. So when furniture is knocking at your door as a delivery, which happened as we were on our way here, if they're bringing in your kitchen table, you're not going to have them put it in your upstairs bedroom. It needs to go where you designated a kitchen table to go. So our industrial zoned areas is where industrial clients go. And if that land is for sale, they don't have to reach out to me. They can put a contract on it, submit plans, get them approved, start construction. It's when they want to go somewhere that's zoned for a neighborhood, but they want to make it an industrial park. And they have to then go through the process of saying, hey, will the county flip this for me? And that's when your board of commissioners and your zoning board come into play to say, we see the value in this. This is a company that builds airplanes, or this is just a warehouse that stocks boxes and ships them out. It's bringing 1,000 jobs. This is great. Or is it not? So your commissioners and your zoning people have some compassion for those people. These are hard decisions, because the more industrial you get, it lessens the burden on your residential customer. I worked in a community early in my career where all the industrial left, and the city hall was just ransacked with residents saying, why are you going up on our trash fees? Why are you going up on this? Why are you going up on that? Because all the industrial carried the weight of it, and when they left, they felt it. But I will say there's a balancing act, and yes, that's a tough decision. Where to put housing, but we rely on where we've zoned these things to go. It makes sense right now. And that's how we tackle it. If someone comes up with us with an industrial project, we send them to what's zoned industrial already. But it is a balancing act. And I will say, industrial is not a dirty word. It really, everything we have on came in a truck. Everything in this building came in a truck. And it doesn't mean that that's not all that there is out there. Mm-hmm. But traditionally, what we've had locate here in Clayton, because you're near the airport, people who need cargo companies or are shipping out things through cargo, they look for the nearest community, which was Clayton. Right. So they took that land and built our warehouses and industrial parks. And when you're in a 300,000 square foot building, you don't go out to lunch, carry your lunch. So restaurants don't typically want to locate and look in those centers. However, our neighborhoods that are around, the more commercial will be attracted to those rooftops. It'll balance out our community. It really will. And I would like our residents to know, if it's not in your district, that's still okay. It's still a win for the county. So if restaurants and retail are going down into District 4, or they're poised to go into District 3, just drive on over there. You really still don't have to leave the county.
Very nice, very nice. Again, Board of Commission meetings, very important to attend. Let your voices be heard, again, because I've been in meetings to where they're public forums, and you have an opportunity to speak for or opposed to different projects. And again, as Erica was saying, if there's something proposed to be built in your neighborhood or your area, and either you're for it or against it, that's the perfect forum to get out and voice your opinion. And they do listen. They really do.
Yeah, they do. And if you'll allow me, I do want to talk about Glasses USA. I know it was a two-pronged question earlier, but I just want to mention how they're in an industrial park, but they are the world headquarters for their company. And they literally searched not only the U.S., they searched the world before deciding where they wanted to plant their facility, because they are an online prescription eyewear fulfillment center. So when you go to the eye doctor and they give you your prescription, you can get it filled there, or you can go online and use one of these online agencies. There are only 4, but we have the second largest one in the world now headquartered here. And so on Thursday, we did a major, what we call ribbon cutting company welcome to Glasses USA. They are, at the time we brought them, it was a $10 million investment, a 40,000 square foot, again, high-tech lab, so technology is a big part of what they do. They produce about 12,000 pair of eyeglasses. These are sunglasses and prescription general eyewear out, and they go either to the airport or down to the Port of Savannah. And it was an exciting event. The governor of Georgia was here to not only offer remarks, but to take a tour of the facility and cut the ribbon and meet those executives. But they talked about some of the very things that, you know, some people kind of gripe about. They said this is why we chose Clayton, because we could get to the airport. We could get our trucks in for delivery and out. You know, there's an infrastructure here that supports what we need to do. And so what we didn't know at the ribbon cutting, they announced that they've been so successful by just moving here in June of last year. They are doubling their workforce. They're adding 100 more jobs. That's tax-based, that's revenue. Those are, you know, everything from license fees to extra square footage renovation. And that is a huge win for Clayton County. And their motto is glad to see you. And we love that. We kept making a play on that throughout the day, but we're very happy about that.
Yes.
Recently happening. And if you didn't see the announcement, Channel 2 covered it quite well as the AJC.
Congratulations on that.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Yes, indeed. Well, that sums up and wraps up the questions that I have. Andre, are there any questions that have been submitted, and do we have any questions from the audience?
No, not online.
Okay. We've got some folks here in the audience.
Yes, with all the expansion going on and the county putting in signage in different parts of the county to promote Clayton and let people know, and especially with the MARTA and Bus Rapid Transit, how involved are you and what discussions are going on? Because without good bus service, it's going to be hard to grow.
That's a very good question. We're very excited about, when I talked about partnerships, MARTA is right up there at the top of the list. And as some of you may know, the county approved a bus rapid transit plan. You may hear the acronym BRT over and over and over. And that program is well underway, but what it is, it's a full, they're right now, they've already done the research and selected the sites. They're now in the design phase of what these BRT stations will look like. And the first bus is going to roll out in 2026. But the way it works is you will be able to increase your mobility around the county like you would if you were using light rail, but it's quicker and cheaper to install. These will be dedicated bus lanes for these buses. They will plug and tie into all of MARTA's heavy rail systems, so you can have a speed bus to get to one of the rail stations if you need it. It'll also promote buses coming from the East Point MARTA station all the way down to Lovejoy, which is like a 22-mile trek. And so this is innovative. It's gonna probably decrease traffic because people can use that. Right. And it's awesome in terms of our job centers, because we strategically did the layout so that it connects to our major job center. You know, Gillum Logistics is our largest job hub. And then there are other job centers peppered around the county where people need to get in and out to work. You know, from the Board of Education to the Clayton County government offices, et cetera. But thank you for asking that. Yes, we are engaged in all of those public meetings and all of those surveys and all of those where should what go and when.
Very nice. Any others?
I just have a statement. I would like to thank you and commend you and your department for the home economic program. I attended last month as a long-term Clayton County resident.
Yes.
And trying to kick off a real estate profession. I learned so much about my county that I've lived in for 25 years. So it was a very, well put on program. It was informative. The speakers were passionate and knowledgeable of their subjects.
Yes.
And I just want to thank you for putting that on.
Well, I have to give our department a hand, and thank you for saying that. That was tremendous, and I agree. The speakers, I won't back down, whatnot, they were all top notch, and they gave great analytics on where we are with housing, what is Clayton, you know, what's happening with affordable housing, and what are the trends and what can be done. And the analytics were just, awesome. I agree, it was. And we did a play on the words home and ec, so we called it home ec, but home economics, it was tremendous. And we've had a lot of responses to that to do it again, so we probably need to do that.
Yeah, and one of the reasons why I have this portion of our episode, again, bringing in folks who can tell those at home, those in the community, all of the things that they don't regularly hear or know about in their own county. And I think it's so important that we hear from folks like you and others because, as you said, there's so much that our county provides that our folks just don't know.
They just don't know.
And I would like to, again, maybe offline, talk about strategies, how we can do more to get them in the know and more knowledgeable.
Let's definitely do that. Yeah, there's a lot of good information out there that the community can really use and help us carry the water and the message.
You got it.
So thank you so much for having me today.
Any other questions before we wrap up? Yes.
Do I need a mic?
Yes.
No one wants to tell me to hush in the library, so. Hey, good morning, everyone. My name's Elena Reeves. I'm one of the candidates in the District 1 County Commission race. I love that y'all are talking about the importance of zoning and the Board of Commissioners meetings. I'm glad to hear the Office of Economic Development talking about the facade grants. While I'm out talking with small and local businesses, they have questions about what resources are available for them, and so I'm curious to see, can you talk about what the Office of Economic Development provides for small businesses and local Clayton-owned businesses here in the county?
Yes, so much, yes, and thank you, Ms. Reeves, for always being a supporter and being engaged. I see you at a lot of events, and that's awesome. I tell everyone, you are doing yourself a disservice if you do not make an appointment to come see your local economic development office. Whether you are an experienced entrepreneur or someone with just a paper napkin idea and not sure where to go next, we are not business coaches or real estate agents, but what we are is a resource. We're a provider of all the resources that serve what you need. We're like a pharmacy for a business. So our resources that we provide with a phone call or a facilitated meeting by our office, we can connect you with the people who you specifically need to talk to and meet with. We know going it alone, you don't know who to call about what it is you need. You just know you have this great idea. How do I get it off the ground? And so our resources are varied and many. We do a small business open house once a year. This year we had, close to 25 of our partners showed up from funders and people who lend and do microloans from as low as $500 up to $2 million. And then there's the heavy hitters there that can loan on big projects that are looking for you. And so if you contact our office, we sit down and we do what we call a diagnostic. And we say, what do you need? Do you need a building? Do you need partnership? We know things that can help you. I was just talking to Southern Regional Medical Center. They told me, we have a whole wing of vacant office space. We're not even using it. And I said, well, I have a small nonprofit who does healthcare connections for people. Let me see if they can talk to you. Maybe they can be housed there. So always contact our office. Depending on what you need, we either know who to call, where to go, and we don't just send you there. We will make that meeting introduction for you, and also be able to provide that assistance all around. So thank you for your question.
That's incredible, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, so we have a couple of questions in from the internet.
Okay.
We have Miss Tammy Flowers asks, it's a two-part question. Are you considering a better restaurant and entertainment district? And connected to that, are you considering a food truck district?
Oh, wow, those are great questions. I am pro food trucks. I did work in a community once where it was all of our local restaurants really put pressure on the commissioners to not approve food trucks. They felt that it took money away from those with brick and mortar who were paying leases and, stationary. But studies have shown that it's not the case, that, it is a win-win. The restaurants don't lose out, and the food trucks, people want that, especially food trucks who can go and park at some of our industrial parks when employers want to offer their free lunch to their employees on Friday or do an event, So we don't have a food truck park planned. That would be something maybe our planning or community development department may want to look at. And in terms of a restaurant theater district, there is zoning out there for those things. And we like to see right now where my office is sending prospects who are in that restaurant entertainment industry. I am trying to get them to target Mountain View as where to locate. So that when people land at the airport, they can be a stone's throw to go have some entertainment and hang out after a flight or even before they go on their flight. Mountain View has, lots of undeveloped acreage, and it is prime real estate now that it's across the street. So we've done an overlay to say this is what we want there. And so that's where that zoning class of office, entertainment, restaurant does exist there.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes.
Are we gonna get Barnes and Nobles back in Clayton County? That's important to me.
That's a good question. That's a prime example of when you have private property owner going up on their rent, private company choosing or not choosing to pay what that new rent is. We'd like them to find another space in the county. Those are corporate decisions that are made, but one thing we can do to help make that decision is we are about to present to the Board of Commissioners, and I encourage you all to be there. It'll be probably the first work session in June, a new incentive policy. We have crafted and had a consultant work over the last 4 months on creating us an incentive policy for big business, small business, everybody. And there is one geared toward existing industry that's already here to expand or to grow. And so if the BOC approves that, that can help, a company decide, hey, it might be better if I stay here, I'll get these breaks, I'll get these perks, etc., as part of that. So Barnes & Noble is important to us as well. And we believe with the right attraction package, we'll either get another one or we'll get a redevelopment opportunity of the existing one.
Thank you.
Tough question. Thank you.
I think that is all we have.
Been a great day, great Monday, what you say? A lot of great information. Absolutely. Again, thank you for tuning in. Thank you all for showing up today. Again, wonderful, great information that benefits our community, and they need to know, they need to hear it. So stay tuned for our next Coffee with the Librarian in July. And until then, have a wonderful day and a great rest of the week. Bye.
We're out.
Great.
Thank you so much.